here's a handful of neuro drills I think everybody should be doing every day. All right, these are gonna strengthen your visual, vestibular, proprioceptive system. They're also gonna help your nervous system become more robust and better able to handle threat signals from our environment, all right? So here's a quick breakdown, okay? So the hierarchy is visual, vestibular, proprioception. About 80% or so of the information we're receiving from our environment is going through our eyes first, then our inner ear, and then our proprioception, okay? If that information going into the brain is not as efficient as it could be, or let's say a little blurry, then the brain has to take that information, process it, and then produce an output, okay? If the information going in is not good, the processing will be slower and not efficient, then output can suffer, i.e. lack of strength, lack of mobility, tightness, stiffness, weakness, pain, things like that. So what we want to do is we want to train these systems, the visual system. Okay, our eyes have muscles intraocular and extraocular, just like any other muscle in the body, need to be mobilized and strengthened. That way the information going through the eyes into the brain is better, the output is better. Same thing with the vestibular, the inner ear. That's our balance. That's kind of our gyroscope that keeps us from falling down. If you've ever had vertigo, you've been on a roller coaster, you spun around and got really dizzy, that's your vestibular system being overstimulated. And oftentimes people don't realize that their vestibular system is weak until they start having some major symptoms. So you want to strengthen that. And then proprioception, our awareness of our body in space, right? Making sure we don't bump into things. Systems are working together so you're not falling over. You can grab things. You can do things in a more coordinated way. And then also the cerebellum gets involved. The cerebellum is this little control center in the back of the brain, pretty small area, but it's only 10% of the brain's mass, holds 50% of the brain's neurons, okay? So very powerful. Ways to train that is through these drills and also through coordinated movement tasks. All right, so the first drill that we're gonna do is called convergence and divergence. Ideally, you can do it seated if you want. This helps with screen fatigue if you've been staring at your phone or at a computer for a while. This is going to help kind of strengthen and mobilize the eyes and clear that kind of eye strain up a little bit. So ideally, the first one you're going to want to do is, again, standing in either a challenging balance position with like feet together, one foot in front of the other. For athletes, it's really good to stand in like a runner position. You can do it even on one foot. Now pick a stance that's pretty challenging for you. Generally, I have most of my clients stand on what's called like a tightrope or a sharpened stance, one foot in front of the other. The first drill is going to be what's called convergence. So you're going to take your visual aid, so you can use your thumb, you can use a pen, a pencil. I have these things from Vision Sticks. These are great. If you're interested in these, comment. I can send you a code for 30% off. Lots of cool exercises and drills you can do. It's a whole set. There's a program. So first one, convergence. You're going to bring your visual aid to your nose and you're going to follow it in with your eyes. You want your eyes to kind of go cross. That's convergence. And then divergence. This should feel a little challenging. You might feel like you lose your balance. If it gets too blurry or if it doubles, don't go as far. But ideally, you're trying to go all the way to the nose and then all the way out, right, at arm's length. Again, following with the eyes, all the way in, all the way out. I like to do a few reps with each hand. Again, nice and slow and controlled. Really stare at your target. Follow it all the way in, all the way out. This is great for coordination. The cerebellum, proprioception, kind of where, your hand and the visual aid is in space. Is it coming really quickly? Can you do it slower? So you're going to do anywhere from maybe 5 to 10 reps of those with each hand. That way we're getting both hemispheres of the brain activated, getting those eyes activated. The balance position is going to work on the balance, the inner ear, the vestibular, and proprioception. Okay, the next drill is called fixed gaze. So all of these drills kind of lend themselves to the name, right? So fixed gaze, you're going to fix your gaze on your target, but it's going to be off center, head is straight, just taking the eyes over and staring at your target for anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds. Okay, and then you'll switch sides again. Head stays straight, eyes are over the target. You don't have to go way out, just over to the side. You want to be able to see clearly and see your target. Okay, then you're going to go down. The order doesn't matter so much. You can go in a bunch of different directions. We're going to go up, Again, you're just staring at your target. Right now I got the sun in my eyes, so it's a little harder to do. And then you're also going to do 4 corners, right? So down to the right. Again, head is straight, eyes are fixed on your target, 10 to 20 seconds or so per side or per position. Notice if any of these positions cause a loss of balance or are more challenging for you. So that's one thing that you want to pay attention to, depending on the balance stance that you're in and what position you're doing these drills in. If they're more challenging, oftentimes I find when people look a certain direction, their balance is affected. There's reasons for that I'm not going to go into, but just pay attention and see if you notice any areas that are harder to do. You want to work on those areas, okay? So the next drill is called a smooth pursuit. You're going to track an object, pursue an object with your eyes. You're not going to move your head. So you're going to start with diagonals, or I'm sorry, horizontal. So you're going to move the stick horizontally, following with just your eyes. Don't move your head. And it's not a very big range of motion, and go slower to start with. Don't go super fast because you're going to start moving your head, losing your balance. Go slow. And if you feel more comfortable, speed it up. Notice, again, do each hand, and we're going to go up and down. Notice if going up and down, left or right, and then we're going to do diagonals as well, if any of those are more challenging for you. If you feel like maybe you can't, if your eyes are jumping ahead, if you feel like you're losing your balance, pay attention to that. Okay, now we're going to go to diagonal. Again, just follow with the eyes, not the head. Start slower and smaller. As you get more comfortable, you can speed it up, just like any other type of exercise. Okay, you're not going to jump in and start trying to bench a ton of weight or squat a ton of weight if you've never done it. And this is a lot of stimulus to the nervous system. So if you're not used to these drills, start slower, start smaller. If they cause any symptoms, dizziness, wooziness, feeling funky, back off, stop, take a break. Take a break in between all of these anyways. Do the drill. Take 10, 20, 30 seconds, blink a few times, then go to the next drill. Okay, so that was the smooth pursuit. Again, tracking an object with your eyes, don't move the head. Next drill, we're going to get the vestibular system more involved now. This is called a VOR, a vestibular-ocular reflex. So you can do this with a far gaze or a near gaze. So I'll show you the far gaze. Pick a target out in front of you, maybe 6, 8, 10 feet or even farther. Keep your eyes fixed on your target, and you're going to turn your head left and right while you keep your eyes fixed. Again, start slower and smaller because you might lose your balance. Ideally, it should be challenging, right? As you get better, you can speed it up. But we do want you to feel like, you're a little bit wobbly, depending on the position. So if you're in a gate stance, you want to lean forward, you should feel a little off balance. If we're in this sharpened tightrope stance, again, should feel a little off balance, challenging but safe, 1 foot. So again, VOR, keeping the eyes fixed on the target, moving the head left and right. Now, as you may have guessed, you're going to go up and down. So again, my eyes are fixed on my target, and I'm moving my head up and down. Again, go slower and smaller. If you're losing your balance, you can't do this. Change your balance position or go slower, go smaller. As you feel more comfortable, you can speed these up, okay? Now diagonals, these are going to be a little harder. So we're going at an angle. Now because we're moving the head, again, the vestibular system is getting much more involved, so the balance should be harder, right? This should be more challenging. The next one you're going to do is a VORC, where the eyes and the head move together. So I'm going to turn my eyes and my head and spot maybe something on each side. This is going to be harder now because the eyes and head are moving. There's more movement, so you might find you lose your balance more. Again, slower, smaller. If you're getting dizzy, you're having symptoms, back off or make it easier. So now up and down. I got the sun in my eyes, so this makes it a little more challenging. Again, slower, smaller. Angles, looking up, looking down at these angles. Again, eyes are going with the head now. This is definitely going to be more challenging. Eyes and head, okay? So this is a far gaze, VORC. Now, we're going to go to a near gaze, VOR. So back to the eyes fixed on the target. You're going to keep your eyes fixed on your target, Move your head left and right. Again, I like to do a few reps with each hand. Get both hemispheres of the brain activated. You're gonna go up and down. Again, up and down. And then we're gonna do some of these diagonals. So we're activating different areas of the vestibular canals. The visual system is working now together with the vestibular system. Again, you may lose your balance. Pay attention to that. It's okay. We want it to be challenging. And so again, we're strengthening these neurological systems so that the input we receive from our environment can be better information into the brain, then we can produce better output. We can be stronger, more mobile, all those things. Okay, so now you're going to do a near gaze VORC. So you're following with the head and the eyes. Again, start slower and smaller if you're losing your balance too much. You can try it in different positions. So single leg is going to be the most challenging. It's going to be very, very difficult to do. But again, if the other stances are too easy, try that. If this is too hard, try a different stance. One of the stances I really like for athletes is a gate stance. So again, I'm leaning way over this leg. So most of my weight is in the ball of my foot like I'm about to take off running. I could lift the back foot up if I need to. That's how the weight is distributed through the ankle, through the shin, up into the hip, into the glutes, and then do your balance. You can do all your drills from this position. Okay, so now we're following. This is the VORC. So we're gonna go up and down. The up and down is really good for this kind of running balance position, right? Gonna really fire up the glute, the tib, the ankle, the calf. Switch hands, do a few with each hand. Again, I'm following the target with my head and my eyes. Make sure you're keeping your eyes on your target. Now some diagonal. The diagonal is much harder. Really gonna feel those tissues light up in the feet. Okay, so again, I'm just showing different positions. Find the one that's challenging for you or the one that you feel is most applicable. Feet together, tightrope, runner stance, single leg. Okay, and then do all these drills. Again, they're all gonna be very similar. You're doing reps with each hand and you're doing all the different angles, okay? So the last drill you're gonna need 2 visual cues. Let me grab my other stick. These are called saccades. So saccade is a rapid eye movement, flicking the eyes back and forth. So I'm gonna stand on the tightrope for this. Actually, let's do 1 foot. I'm gonna mix it up a little bit, go a little more challenging here. You're gonna hold your visual aids at arm's length, a little wider than shoulder width, and then you're gonna flick your eyes rapidly back and forth between your targets. You're not moving your head. Another way you can do this is with music. So turn music on and go with the beat, or use a metronome. If you know what a metronome is, it's a clicking sound that musicians use. Turn the metronome on, anywhere from probably 90 to 120 beats, and follow with the click. So every time it clicks, click, 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 you're moving your eyes back and forth on the target. So again, left and right, up and down, then we're gonna do these diagonals. So I'm flicking my eyes very rapidly back and forth between the 2 targets. Again, so diagonals. So this one is really powerful for a lot of things. We do saccades a lot. We're scanning our environment. All these drills are super powerful for the nervous system, visual, vestibular, proprioception. These are going to help movement. They're going to help you get out of pain. They're going to activate areas of the brain that are responsible for goal setting, future planning, reaction, hand-eye coordination. If you're an athlete, these drills are crucial before you play and while you're training, as part of your training. If you have balance issues, if you're aging, if you have vestibular issues, visual issues, you need to be doing these drills because they're going to strengthen those systems, strengthen your brain, and in turn strengthen your body. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Hit that subscribe button for me. I haven't been posting in a while. I'm going to start posting a lot more of my neuro drills on here. Leave comments, let me know what you'd like to see or what you'd like to learn about. Thanks for watching, appreciate the support. Stay tuned, I have a lot more coming.